Hi there, my name's Rick Zamperin, and welcome to the Fifth Quarter Show Seasons, a weekly feature that drops every Tuesday on this channel during the Canadian Football League's off-season. We are 6 episodes into this journey of discovery for some and maybe reminiscing for others. Without further ado, I present to you episode 7 of the Fifth Quarter Show Seasons. And it is the cataclysmic year of 1950. Now, 4 years earlier, Evelyn Dick was arrested for murder after the torso of her missing estranged husband was found near Albion Falls by 5 local children. She was convicted but later acquitted on appeal. Dick was later sentenced to 11 years in prison in the death of her infant son, whose body was found encased in cement in a suitcase that was found in the attic of her home. Hamilton's population in 1950 had grown to about 180,000 people, and many enjoyed visiting the Skyway, Canada's first drive-in movie theater located in Stony Creek, which opened in 1946. And in 1949, Hamilton hosted the Brier, our national men's curling championship, for the first time. As for football in the city, well, it was about to undergo its biggest change ever. For 80 years, from 1869 to 1949, the Tigers were the most successful club in Hamilton. They appeared in 8 Grey Cup games, and they won 5 of them. The Hamilton Alerts were the first team in the city to win the Grey Cup in 1912, but they folded the following season. The Wildcats were formed in 1941 after a bunch of players from the Tigers joined the Army to fight in the Second World War. But by 1949, the Tigers and Wildcats were competing for fans' support, and frankly, both were struggling financially. Well, that's when 4 very influential men in this city came together to find a different path forward. Frank Gibson was a prominent businessman in the city. Ralph Cooper owned W.H. Cooper Construction. C.C. Lawson was the owner of the Wildcats, and Sam Manson owned Sam Manson Sporting Goods. He also captained the Tigers to the Grey Cup in 1913, co-founded the Hamilton Olympic Club, and was instrumental in Hamilton being host to the first British Empire Games in 1930, which are now known as the Commonwealth Games. The 4 men agreed that it was foolish to continue to have 2 football teams operate in the city, and they agreed that the Tigers and the Wildcats should amalgamate into one club. And so that's what happened. The modern age of football in Hamilton was born when the Tigers and Wildcats merged to become the Hamilton Tiger Cats. There would be another big change that came with the newly formed franchise. For years, football was played at Hamilton's famed AAA grounds. The site played host to 7 Grey Cup championships between 1910 and 1935, with Hamilton teams winning the title on 5 occasions. But starting in 1950, the newly minted Ticats would play in a new home. Civic Stadium was built for the 1930 British Empire Games and primarily hosted track and field events for the Hamilton Olympic Club, as well as soccer games, while the AAA grounds was the home of football as well as cricket in the city. It also hosted the 1944 Grey Cup, a game the Flying Wildcats lost against a team from Montreal. But in 1950, Civic Stadium was the new home for football in Hamilton. Led by new head coach and general manager Carl Voiles, and with a roster that included center Jake Goddard, tackle Ralph Sazio, and end Vince Mazza, the Tiger Cats won 7 games and lost 5, and finished in first place in their inaugural season in the Interprovincial Rugby Football Union, 1 point ahead of the Toronto Argonauts. Well, Hamilton lost the 2-game IRFU final against the Argos by a combined score of 35-19. And 10 days later, Toronto went on to win their 9th Grey Cup when they blanked the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 13-0. By all accounts, the inaugural 1950 season was considered a great success for the Tiger Cats, both on and off the field. Ralph Cooper became a member of the Tiger Cats board of directors and was instrumental in setting up the draft for Canadian university football players. He and Frank Gibson, who later became the secretary-treasurer for the CFL, developed the interlocking regular season schedule for Eastern and Western teams that was first used in 1961. Cooper was inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame in 1992 and Gibson in 1996. And since 1975, the Frank M. Gibson Award has been presented to the CFL's most outstanding rookie in the East Division. And it's an honor that has been won by 11 Ticats. 1950 may have been the start of something new and spectacular in Hamilton, but football fanatics who had a new team to cheer for haven't seen anything yet. That's next on the Fifth Quarter Show Seasons. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you liked it, and if you did, hit the thumbs up button. If you know of any Ticats fans who have not yet found this channel, please let them know. Send them a link to this video, share it on social media, and encourage your friends to subscribe. While this is the last episode of 2024, the fun is going to continue in 2025 when the next edition of the Fifth Quarter Show Legends comes out on Thursday. I hope you all had an amazing holiday season, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing you again very soon. Until then, Oski Wee Wee.